Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is the first of 5 segments. I thought it would be interesting to use this left-handed ES335 Gibson, and I have an SG behind me. And we're going to walk you through all of the most basic stuff from the simplest thing to changing strings, adjusting the truss rod, the various hardware that you need to be aware of, bridge adjustments, neck adjustments, setting up the intonation, all the most basic things that you need to understand if you want to start working on guitars. So let's get started. So continuing on with segment 1, we have another Gibson that needs almost the identical job that 335 needed. I thought I would tie these two together. We're going to get those old strings off and cover up those pickups. Well, we're all set up for our fret dress. We've got to check that truss rod before we get started, but I thought I would also check, oh yeah, these are loose. Yeah, it's almost an identical job to that left-handed ES335. Go easy on these, very easy to strip. We'll check this truss rod to see where we're at. You always make a habit of checking the truss rod. I suggest you always try to loosen it first. Okay, that's what we did. Okay, that is loosened right off, so there is no tension. So I'll snug that down just a little bit, and then just eye that neck. See, even that little bit of tension was enough to put this in a back bow. Back that off to 0 again. Let's check that again. Okay, that did it. So this is why you check the truss rod before you go anywhere near this thing with any type of leveling file. So I'm going to just bring it to the point where it makes contact. Almost no tension on there. I'll check that again. That's good. We're on to our reconnaissance with the smaller straight edges. Pretty good neck on this one, and I did point that out to the customer that it's an exceptionally good neck. Go to that neck size down. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I did point out to him there's some spots at the top end. This one pretty well all the way across. So that's it. There are the trouble spots. Well, I saved these little heat guards from the 335. Since we're going Gibson to Gibson, we're lucky we can reuse these tongue depressors that I cut for heat guards. There we go. We strike while the lacquer is hot. Score this all the way around. Let's see if we have the same luck with this one. No such luck. This one's going to come out the hard way. this has given us a bit of grief. And once again, it's a good lesson for you guys, because when you run into this with a Les Paul or Gibson style nut, you'll know how to take care of it. When I get to this point, I like to go to the Japanese saw, because it cuts on the pull stroke and really gives you so much more control. Just cutting it's like that width of a pencil line. Kind of check it as I go, because I want to bring that down to the glue line. Obviously don't want to go beyond the glue line. And I think we're pretty well there. Yeah, that's as close as we want to go. Okay, I'm going to heat that again, and then we're going to tap it to get it out. So let's see how we do this time. You got to be prepared for this, because that's how these things come out sometimes, like an impacted tooth. We're going to come back to that later, because we're doing the compensated nut. Right now we're going to get on with the fretwork. I'm going to start at the top end here and just nick those high spots. One thing about this guitar is there's a good healthy size fret, so got lots to work with here. And as I go over these spots that I chalked, I can see those frets light right up. And that takes care of all the high spots. I can't help but just shake my head and wonder at how the industry has chased its tail for the last couple of decades, spending millions on research for a CNC machine to do what I do on the Tech Deck and my level 1 students do on the Tech Deck, effortlessly, easily, cost-effectively, safely, and consistently perfect for the last 20 years. No CNC machines, no clamps, no vices, and no dial caliper posts. Just the fretting kit I've been making up for my students for years, and a few simple hand tools. Well, like you saw on John's 335, we've tightened up those posts. These lugs are actually very tight, so they don't need any extra help. And we did the edge dress, level crown and polish. Bring this pickup back up. And we're ready to put the strings on. Okay, this SG is set up for E-flat tuning, 10 to 52. All the fretwork is done. Let's take a look at that nut. If you look closely at this nut, you'll see that the low E, or E-flat, it's E-flat tuning, negative values, which means I had to cut into the nut past the end of the fingerboard to lengthen this string for it to intonate. And you're going to hear it in a second because we're about to go in and plug it in. This was positive value, positive value, positive value, negative value for the D, negative value for the low E. It's actually D flat, E flat. And so the lesson here is when you go to take a real Gibson nut out, you got to be ready for anything. When you think of how easy that left-handed ES335 nut came out flawlessly in one piece, this one, on the other hand, came out like an impacted tooth. You got to be ready to deal with this. Let's go in and have a lesson.